on it by the administration, but also he's not yet ready to retire as a four-star admiral. He would need at least another year in grade to do that. Surprising announcement for both reasons.
All right, Courtney Cubey for us. Always great to have you. Thank you. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton was in court today, less than 24 hours after a federal indictment accused him of mishandling top-secret information. John Bolton pleaded not guilty to accusations that he illegally stored national defense records at his home and sent classified information to family members using personal email accounts. The indictment also alleged operatives linked to the Iranian government hacked into Bolton's personal email account, giving them access to that classified information. Bolton insists that he is being targeted because he has been a critic of President Trump, saying in part he is the latest target in weaponizing the Justice Department to charge those he deems to be his enemies. Joining us now is NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris. Good to see you, Misty. We should note that this comes after several high-profile indictments, right, against other Trump critics. This one does seem to be, this charges seem to be more serious, no?
Yeah, there's a lot of distinctions between those cases, Letitia James and James Comey, and this case against Bolton. And a lot of that relates to its path to the indictment. So this case has been a long time coming. There's been a lengthy criminal investigation, 2 warrants executed, signed off by federal judges over the summer, ultimately leading to this indictment, which was brought by career prosecutors who all signed off on this indictment, unlike those other cases, which appeared to be a bit more targeted, or that's the arguments that they'll raise. So this one has a lot of distinctions when it comes down to the charges.
Misty, I want to read a little bit more from the indictment here. At one point, Bolton allegedly sent a document to his family members with a follow-up message that stated, quote, "none of which we talked about," exclamation point. In response, one of his family members wrote, "shh." Okay, Misty, what does that signal about his intent?
Yeah, these messages and other information in the indictment, if true and not out of context, is incredibly damaging because when it comes down to this case, prosecutors have to prove intent, and messages like this that seem to acknowledge, obviously showing transmission of the information, but also acknowledge that he's not really supposed to be doing it, takes away any potential defenses of mistake, lack of knowledge that his conduct was wrong, as well as lack of intent. So these messages are going to be a critical piece of the prosecution and a hurdle for the defense to overcome.
Misty Maris, thank you so much. Time now for some consumer news. California becomes the first state in the nation to sell its own insulin, and FIFA says ticket sales for the World Cup are off to a hot start. Bertha Coombs joins us now with today's CNBC Money Minute. Hi, Bertha.
Hi, Kate. That's right. California will be selling its own supply of insulin, a first here in the United States. State plans to partner with manufacturers to produce generic versions of the diabetes drug. The state says the insulin will be distributed through the California CalRx program starting in January at a suggested price of $55 per pack of 5. And FIFA says that it has already sold more than 1 million tickets for next year's World Cup here in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. Sales began earlier this month. Fans from 212 countries and territories have purchased tickets, even though only 28 of the 48 teams have qualified so far. U.S.